Hello, YouTube. My name is Zakia Ringgold of Live Soap School, and this is going to be a really quick video answering several of your questions that you have sent. Now, I do need to do a quick apology because Live Soap School has been MIA, and what I mean by that is I've been very busy with another venture. However, that is getting its legs under it. It doesn't require as much of my attention. And so now I get to really focus on all of you that are a part of Soap Nation. If you have never been here with me before, I will give you a really quick debrief on who I am, how this got started, and what the vision is for Live Soap School before we hop into the 20 tips that we have for starting your soap business as well as selling soap online. This will turn into a blog entry, which will turn into a podcast, and ultimately a planner for new soap makers. So, I'm Zakia Ringgold. I happen to be the owner of Natural Soap by Zakia, which is how my soap journey began in 2015. In 2018, I started Live Soap School. And Live Soap School has the mission, vision, and value to help new soap makers turn their hobby into an actual business. And so I started teaching classes online via live stream. Just, hey, this is what I'm doing to start and grow a business online. That turned into me self-publishing all four of these books on soap making. The first one is the New Soap Maker's Cookbook, Ingredients for Success. And that just gives you 10 really important lessons, no matter what your business is, on getting the right mindset for owning your own business. Following that one was the New Soap Maker's Cookbook, Making Cold Processed Soap from Scratch. And that gives you the step by step, without all of the fluff, on how to make and sell your own soap using the cold process method. But then people said, I want recipes. I don't want to use any animal products in my soap, because that was the premise on how Natural Soap by Zakia was. We didn't use any lard, tallow, silk, but we made really good soap. And so the new vegan soap cookbook came out, and that is on how to make plant-based soap at home. And then the last book in the collection for soap makers is How to Make and Sell Soap, and that gives you answers to the top 50 questions. We also have an online school, we have a podcast, all that stuff. However, this video is really to give you a high level of what those 20 things are that you need to consider. Now, I am going to be peeking over here because I just typed this list out today. And as I was typing it, I was thinking about some lessons I learned. And one important lesson for if you are starting a soap business from scratch, don't wait until everything is done and perfect for you to be able to present it to the world or offer it to a customer. Bring people along on your journey. And so before I started to write this blog post and go and start updating the website, I said, why don't I just bring people along the journey? Because maybe you don't even want to start a soap business, but you're trying to figure out how to start an online business. Now, I won't say that I'm going back to zero, but I am going back to stage one, because I have let Live Soap School kind of sit by the wayside for the past year. And so I will be relaunching both Natural Soap by Zakia, which is the online storefront for all of the handmade products, and at the same time bringing Live Soap School up with me. Now, Live Soap School is more of a blog, a sharing of the journey, sharing lessons, giving information, whereas Natural Soap by Zakia is the storefront. That's where you can buy stuff. We may even combine the two and it's just Live Soap School. But enough of that. Let's go on to the tips. And just for my own reference, and for the people who are probably looking at this from the beginning saying, wait a minute, we're 4 minutes in, I still don't have a tip. But I've actually given you one. And that is, don't start once you have everything figured out. Share it with your community, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are going to go for where your customers are. As you start building your business, share that. share, I have no idea how to price this. I have no idea how I'm going to package this. What do you think about this company name? What do you think about this particular packaging? What should we name this particular product? Bring your community with you. So the very first tip in starting your soap business is to set it up as a business. I know a lot of times we're like, well, I don't really know if it's going to be a business. I don't know if people are going to buy from me. But when I say set it up as a business, that's meaning your business name, what are you going to call it? And one thing that you can do for that is just do a quick Google search. If the name is already taken, don't use that name. You'll be going back and forth. You'll be sending people to a .co or .ask or .test instead of a .com or whatever you want your to be. So choose on your business name, choose on the structure. Are you going to be a sole proprietor? Are you going to be an LLC? Are you going to be an S Corp, a C Corp? I wouldn't say your soap business should be a C Corp starting out, but you never know. You might have high hopes, big dreams, all over the place. Get an EIN number so that you can open up a business bank account, and also when it comes time for filing your taxes, you'll be able to do so because you have a company number. An EIN number in the United States is your employer identification number. It's kind of like your business social security number. And then also opening up a bank account. You want to keep your personal finances separated from your business finances. And the reason that you want to do that is because when it comes time to figure out, is my business profitable? How much am I paying for these ingredients? How much income is coming in? If you have that mixed with your personal banking information, it's going to be hard to tell. Is this the pizza that I ordered, or is this the coconut oil, and which one goes with which? So opening up that business bank account. So the very first tip again is to set up your business as a business. The second one is going to be a little more difficult as you are getting started, but this one is going to be know your market, your customer, or your niche, depending on where you are. And the reason I say this one is going to be difficult to pin down, I don't want you to get stuck here, but I want you to consider who are the people that you are targeting for your products. And the reason that's important is that's going to craft how you're going to brand, how you're going to market, how you're going to share what it is that you do. That is going to come from there. Another tip is to know your product. What is it that you are making? What is it that you are selling? And why are you doing it? All of those really have a solid foundation, and you actually being able to identify what it is that you are sharing with your customers, sharing with your clients. Another one is to know your industry. When you know your industry, that's knowing what are the rules and regulations, what's happening in the government. Right now, every small business owner, handcrafted alike, needs to be aware that there's some legislation that keeps going back and forth on whether or not small soap makers or anybody who makes natural skincare products are going to have to register. And if you have to register, what that cost is going to be. So really staying on top of what's happening in the industry is a pivotal part of starting a soap making business. Number five, which is very important, is to understand your costs. And I see we have several people that are here live. I know that I did not really do the whole hello, how are you doing? But I'm going to just pause, reset for what those first four were, and then I'm going to go on to number five. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense. This will turn into a blog entry where I will give a little more detail, but this is just a high level. So welcome. The first tip was make sure that you are setting up your business as a business. Number two is to know your market, customers, and niche. Number three is to know your product, what it is that you sell. And number four was to know your industry. What is happening in your industry? What is new? Last year, about this time, or 2 years ago, about this time, men's care products started taking off. So if you were someone who was thinking about making beard oil, beard balm, beard butter, you might have noticed an uptick, and you can know that by understanding what's happening in your industry. Number 5 is to understand your cost. And I say this because a lot of people think, well, because I'm an online store, my costs are so much less. That is not the case. Just because you don't have a brick and mortar does not mean that your business is going to be free. You still have the space that you are in where you're paying the electric, the water, the internet. All of those elements are going to come into play. So you want to make sure that you know your cost both for where you're going to be producing the product, and then additionally, you want to know your cost in terms of how much am I paying for these supplies? How much am I paying for the ingredients? How much am I paying to ship these products? Because that's going to go into how you are going to cost it. A huge mistake that I see new soap makers do is they go into Facebook groups and say, how much should I charge for my soap? Nobody can tell you that price because we don't know how much you paid for the coconut oil, the sodium hydroxide, the potassium hydroxide if you're making liquid soap, your packaging, all of those elements, down to the gloves that you wear, the thermometer that you use, even the face mask, even though you use them just because of hashtag COVID, even those face masks have costs. So everything that you use to put in the product to make that final product is going to be so important that you take into account when you are understanding your cost. And as you start to understand those costs, the next tip, number 6, is to shop and save on your ingredients. Just because someone is or a company is a top brand for a particular ingredient, does it make sense for you to have that ingredient shipped all the way from California to Philadelphia or wherever you are? Because not only is it the price of that individual product, but it's the shipping cost that goes into it as well. You want to make sure you're getting a quality product, and you want to make sure that you're getting it at a price where if you want to scale your business, meaning you're making more products, you want to be sure that your costs are taken into account and you're saving on those ingredients. And here's an additional tip with that. The larger quantity you buy, the cheaper it will be. Here's a caveat to that. And I am a witness to this because I have tons of ingredients that I now have to throw away. Only buy what you can use within 3 months of you purchasing it. And the reason I say that, it's not like a kind of sort of plan, or maybe one day I'll get to it, or possibly I will have this idea for a product. If you don't have a recipe that is going to use it and a time on your production calendar for when you are going to make that product, save your money. But if you are somebody who is making hundreds of bars of soap in a very short period of time, you may want to buy 50 pounds before you hop up to a drum, because by the ounce, depending on the size of the ingredient that you buy, that is going to impact how much you end up paying. And how much you end up paying is going to directly go into how much you charge your customers to ensure that you have a profitable product. Number 7, I just started going there, and that's have a production plan. So these ingredients have come in. What are you going to do to produce the product? And how many products are you going to be making at a single time? And so you want to have a calendar. We will be creating a soap maker's planner, a new soap maker's planner, to help you with that production plan. And here's where this is a lesson learned for me, and I do it every holiday. We know that Father's Day is June 20th every single year. If you are just now thinking about what you are going to be making for Father's Day, you are way too late, specifically for cold processed soap, because it has the curing period. So you having that production planner is going to map out, okay, Father's Day is June the 20th. If I count back a minimum of 6 weeks, that's when I need to start making the products that I want to offer for Father's Day or Mother's Day or Christmas or Thanksgiving. I don't know. Do you have specials for Thanksgiving? I've seen a lot of specials for Halloween, but depending on when it is that you are planning on selling a particular product, you want to have that production plan. When am I going to master batch my oils if you're going to be making several different batches? Because that's going to save you time. In business, time is money and then money is money. So you really want to try and cut down on your production time. And a way you can do that is with master batching. Once you have your production plan down, tip number 8 is going to be how to price your products for profit. And the main difference between a hobby and a business: a hobby you do for fun, a business you're going to be doing for income. So when I say price your product for profit, you're not pricing it so that you can get it sold. Of course, you want it to sell. But if it's not at a profit, you've just donated your time and also probably your money for those ingredients. So understanding your cost, how long it takes you to make it, what all that packaging is going to be is the starting point for how you are going to price your product. Number 9 is photos, descriptions, and packaging your product. So after you've made it, while you are making it, can you take video of it? Can you take pictures of it? How are you going to describe it so that the search engines can find it, as well as your customers, who you already know who that market is, are able to decide, is this a product that I want, or is this something that I'm looking for? And then it also helps you to tell the story of it when you are live streaming. Number 10 is to choose your platforms wisely. And this goes for your website and this goes for your social media. When I say your website, I see, should I be doing a WordPress site? Should I do a Shopify site? Should I do Etsy? Should I do Big Cartel? There are a million platforms that you can be on. But when I say choose your platform, it's really dependent on you. Are you able to maintain a WordPress site? There's constant maintenance, there's constant security, there's constant plugins, and you're always updating them. You're always making sure that that information is correct and you're not hacked. If you're hacked, you may not be able to get into your site. Your site may be flagged by Google as spam, and then it will not even show up when people search for you. So really consider, do you have the time or do you have the money to pay someone else to maintain that website? Additionally, Etsy. Etsy is a really popular option for new soap makers. And that's because there's really no huge upfront cost. You're only paying to list your products. This is a place that your business can start but should not live. And the reason I say that is, the more, if I have a product, my lemongrass soap, there are a million other soap makers that have a lemongrass soap. Etsy is in business by promoting the products of their sellers, and they can have ads. So if I've sent all of my traffic to go and look at my lemongrass soap on my Etsy site, they land there, but then they see 15 other lemongrass soaps. So I've just done free marketing, sending traffic there, but it's a way, in case you don't have the technical skills or the ability right now to pay a subscription with Shopify, it's a good starting point to just see, do I have a market for my business? Will people buy my product? Start there, don't live there. One that is very popular, it was built with e-commerce in mind, is Shopify. Shopify was built to plug into all the social media platforms, click quickly to upload your products, your pricing, calculate the shipping for you. So really understanding all the ins and out of Shopify is a really good idea. Now, when it comes to Shopify, there are monthly recurring fees. So if we go back up to tip number 5 and understanding your cost, that goes into that price. That goes into how you are going to price your soap for your customers. So, do you have enough money coming in where you can pay the $29.99 a month fee for Shopify? If you do, Shopify is the answer. If you don't, Etsy is the answer. If you have the ability, the know-how, you're just a DIY tinkerer, WordPress is your platform of choice. Number 12, share your story with your community. The reason Natural Soap by Zakia was so successful is I live streamed from the time it was an idea through shipping every single product. That was before I knew the company name was Natural Soap by Zakia. That was before I knew the colors. That was before I knew what products we would be offering. All of that was done with my community. My community helped to co-create what Natural Soap by Zakia was going to turn into. Do not wait until you have everything figured out to then bring it to the world. Have them tell you what it is they want you to make. Liquid soap, okay, but I've been studying all this bar soap, so maybe I need to spend a little more time on the liquid soap. And then take them on the journey. It doesn't have to be a perfect batch because they watched you make it. They want to see what's happening when you cut it, how it feels, how it lathers. So bring your community with you. Number 13 is packing and shipping. What will you package your soap in and what will you ship it in? Because it can be free, but most of the time there's going to be cost associated with it. And then are you able to compete with an Amazon Prime who promises a 2 to 3 day shipping and you're a one person show? Can you manage those expectations with your customers to say, hey, if your order comes in on a Monday, we'll be turning that around within 3 to 5 days? I had a full time job when I started Natural Soap by Zakia, so shipping throughout the week just was not possible. I live streamed throughout the week, but I set that expectation that we only ship on Saturdays. And guess what? That turned into a broadcast, soap shipping Saturdays. So make sure that you are managing those expectations and get the products out when you say you will. Most people are used to clicking a button on, especially now, clicking a button on their phone, they get the tracking number, they're tracking it, they're doing unboxings, and if your product is taking 5 days, 7 days before they're even communicated to that you have gotten their order, you're not going to get the best traction. The best traction comes from repeat customers who refer you to their friends, their family. And that starts with the customer service, the entire experience before they buy from you, that whole transactional process, and even after, which we will get to in another tip. And that's the communicating. I was going into that. So communicating with your customers before, during, and after the sale. Before the sale, it's what is it that you have? Why should they care? How do they buy? During the sale, hey, we really appreciate your order. We've received it. We're packing it. We're shipping it. Here's your confirmation number. Here's your tracking number. When they receive it, hey, we see that you received the product. We would love to know how you feel about it, how everything went. Do you mind doing an unboxing? Do you mind doing a testimonial? All of those things means that they weren't just another transaction along the way. It wasn't just another batch of soap that you sent out, but they are really important to you and you appreciate it. And be authentic about it. Not just, hey, you bought our stuff, send us a testimonial. Mm-mm. That doesn't work so well. All right, tip number 15. We have 6 more, guys. 15. Understand all of the social media platforms. You don't have to be active on all of the social media platforms, but understanding who's using those platforms, how it helps you with your organic reach is so important. Just because something worked a year ago doesn't mean it's going to work today, and it doesn't mean that people are still there. So understanding what's the posting like on there. Should you be live streaming on there? Is it photo only? Should I be posting text? Should you be posting motivational quotes and things like that? So considering all of those elements is where you start and then decide, where are my customers? What am I most comfortable doing? How often am I actually able to post on there? And then deciding, this is going to be where I have my social media presence. Number 16 is to avoid the crowds. And this is especially important for new soap makers. Just because everybody is making a particular thing does not mean that you can sell that thing. Remember, your market may not be interested in unicorn bath bombs. Why are you making it? Because somebody posted it on a blog, somebody saying how amazing it is. That also goes for fragrances and essential oils. On most Facebook groups, people will come on and say, "What's your number one bestseller?" And I'm blown away every time I see it. It's good to get ideas, but you should be asking that question to your customers. What scents do you want me to sell? What colors, if you're somebody who's going to be having colors, what colors do you think I should even have in this particular batch? Don't follow the crowd with your business. Follow your customers and not everybody else. Number 17 is to plan for inventory. I just boxed up, I think, about 100+ bars of soap that I can't sell. Um, Plan for where you're going to store your soap. Have a realistic plan for, okay, on a monthly basis, I'm turning over about 500 bars of soap. You shouldn't be making 1,500 bars of soap in a month if you're only turning over 500. That does take time to build that up, but you really want to consider how much can I realistically turn over, and then how much can I store in order to not have my whole family going crazy if you are making your products out of your home. Number 18 is going to be website maintenance. No matter which platform you go on, you're going to want to keep it up to date, whether that be with your blogs, your new products, updated pricing. You want to have a plan for when you are going to maintain your website. Another one is number 19, two-way, guys. Customer communication. How are you going to stay in touch with those people who have purchased from you? They're not in the middle of a transaction, but maybe they bought from you 2 months ago. Are you going to do a newsletter, weekly, monthly, quarterly? There is no right or wrong time, but you must be consistent with whatever it is that you choose. And what platform are you going to use? Everybody has heard of MailChimp. It's a great entry level one because as long as you have less than 2,000 subscribers, it's free to email them. So consider MailChimp and your plan for how you are going to communicate with them. Drum roll. Tip number 20. This is a long one. So well, not this answer, but this is a long video. Online community for your customers to engage, engage, engage. Whether that be YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I was going to say Meerkat, but that's long gone. TikTok, Pinterest, wherever you are going to be able to engage in a two-way dialogue. And notice I said two-way. Your Facebook business page is not always a two-way dialogue. It's normally you just spitting out, hey, I just made this product. There's no way for people to really engage in that except in the comments. If you are going to use a Facebook business page, you must live stream. You absolutely positively must live stream. You will get zero organic reach with a regular post or something that has text on there or a photo. You have to use video. Whatever method you choose, very similar to the customer communication, your online community is not only for your current customers, but it's for your potential customers to also be able to find you. So we were able to do that in less than 30 minutes. Let's see if I can quickly run through this. Number 1, set up your business as a business. Number 2, know your customers, market, or niche. Number 3, know your product. Number 4, know your industry. Number 5, understand your costs. Number 6, shop and save on your ingredients. Number 7, have a production plan. Number 8, price your products for profit. Number 9, your photos, descriptions, and packaging for your products. Number 10, choose your platforms. Don't let the platforms choose you. Number 11, promote your products on social media. I think I completely skipped over that one, but you get what I'm saying. Number 12, share your story with your community. as much as possible from beginning to end. Number 13, packing and shipping. Have a plan for it, understand the price, and include it in your cost. Number 14, communicate with your customers before, during, and after the sale. Number 15, understand the different platforms, its capabilities, and where you want to be with your comfort level, as well as what your consistency plan will be. Number 16, to avoid the crowds. Number 17, plan for inventory. Number 18, how will you maintain your website? Number 19, customer communication. And number 20, an online community for your community. I said your customers before, but your community that you are cultivating. My name is Zakia Ringgold, and if you have enjoyed this video, there will be a whole lot more just like it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to livesoapschool.com, and look out for the new Soap Makers Planner that is coming out that will walk you through all of this and give you a plan that you can create and follow so that you have a successful online soap business. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.